A maintenance worker named Chad is renovating a room in a huge old-fashioned building. Just then, some putty comes out of a hole in the wall behind him. Chad tries to fill it back up, but it doesn't work. His boss shows up and says that the hole is a glory hole.
It's alive.
Intrigued, he puts his hand inside the hole and something scratches his hand. He instantly pulls it back and a necklace entangled with a cutter falls out. The necklace has a strange-looking amulet. Later that night, his girlfriend Lena joins him for a drink. Chad gifts her the same necklace and puts it around her neck. But as he turns around to open a beer bottle, Lena suddenly gets possessed. Terrified, Chad tries to call for help, but the door shuts, revealing the room 203. The scene then shifts to a young woman named Kim White, who is moving to a new city to start her college education. She has decided to move into a recently rented apartment with her best friend Izzy, who is an aspiring actress. However, Kim's parents did not like the idea because Izzy is a druggie and has been involved in overdose incidents. While driving, they warn her that if she moves in with Izzy, they will cut off any contact with her. However, she ignores them and goes to the apartment where Izzy is waiting for her. Later, the two best friends meet the creepy-looking landlord Ronan, who gives them a tour of the apartment, warning them not to visit the basement. He adds that the apartments were recently renovated so none of the flats are full, and he is the only tenant on that floor. He then takes them to their apartment, where they fall in love over a huge stained glass window.
Whoa! Don't touch that!
Ronan doesn't want the window to be damaged. He then gives Kim the key to the apartment. At night, Kim notices a little hole in her room's wall and tries to hide it by covering it with a mirror. But when she leaves, later, the two girls enjoy the night by drinking and dancing to loud music. The next morning, Izzy notices that the mirror they used to hide the hole has fallen to the floor. She tries to reach inside, but she's just kidding, and she pulls out the same necklace from before and puts it on. Later that evening, the girls go to a bar and have drinks with two strangers. They hang around for a while and then return to their place, while Izzy brings one of the guys named Tony. As they walk in the hallway, creepy Ronan stares at them. After that, Tony and Izzy go to Kim's room, but she sleeps immediately, leaving him unsatisfied.
Man, what the fuck?
Tony then goes to the kitchen to get a drink. He uses the washroom to jerk off and a shadow walks by. Moments later, he is mysteriously stabbed with a knife. The next morning, Izzy thinks that he left before she woke up because his body mysteriously disappeared from the washroom. Kim realizes that she's running late for her orientation class, so she quickly gets ready and rushes to her college. But even after trying her best, she is unable to make it on time. While she is thinking about what to do next, Ian, a tour guide, approaches her. He offers to give her a private tour of the campus in return for a coffee. Kim accepts, and she finds out that Ian is also doing journalism like her. They get along well quickly, and it turns out that Kim has been helping Izzy overcome her trauma due to her mother's death and also her bad drug addiction. Ian asks her to write down all her experiences with Izzy, as she has to submit a journal to a weirdo professor. Later, when Kim gets home, she finds a note from Izzy telling her that she's going out for drinks. When she is all alone, she decides to follow Ian's suggestion to write a paper about Izzy's life. Later that night, Kim wakes up to the fluttering noises, and she sees a bird slithering into the hole in the wall. Scared, she carefully goes to check the hole, and just then, someone knocks on the door. She opens the door, and it's Izzy with a music box in her hand and blood dripping from her head. Izzy seems possessed.
She's still with us.
Kim becomes worried and spends all night taking care of her. The next morning, Kim asks Izzy about what happened, and she tells her she was just sleepwalking. But when Kim tries to ask her more, she just ignores the questions and instead shows her that she just installed a lock on her door to prevent this from happening again. While talking, Izzy tells her that she met Sandy in the bar, a casting assistant, and that she will help her get a role on TV. Kim also tells her about Ian and says that she likes him. Later, Kim joins her online class, where she reveals her plan to write about her best friend's life. She asks the profession if she needs to get her friend's permission. The professor tells her it's not necessary until she keeps her identity a secret. In the afternoon, Kim goes out on a coffee date with Ian, while Izzy goes on a TV audition. Kim talks about how Izzy's mother died because of an accidental overdose, which led Izzy into depression. Izzy even tried to take her life, and sadly, Kim's parents didn't allow her to be Izzy when she needed her the most. While having a romantic moment, Ian rides Kim on a bicycle to her apartment. After getting home, Kim continues working on the journal, but then the mirror falls again, breaking the mirror into pieces. Suddenly, the front door opens, and she sneaks through her door and finds Izzy and Sandy flirting with each other. Kim decides to go to bed and not disturb them. Late at night, she wakes up to the sound of a music box, and when she follows the sound to the living room, she finds Izzy staring at the stained glass window while holding the music box. When Kim gets near her, she screams as if she is possessed and runs towards the restricted basement. Although Kim is scared, she rushes to her and manages to take the music box from her hand. Izzy finally comes back from the possession and cries out of fear. Kim takes care of her friend, takes her back to her room and consoles her with love. The next day, she tells Ian everything that's been going on, including the musical box, the hole in her room, and the necklace that Izzy took out of it. Ian suggests her to do research on this matter and offers to help her with it. Later, when they both get back to her apartment, they find Ronan staring at the stained glass. He warns Kim not to go down to the basement. When he leaves, both of them take pictures of the stained glass and the musical box. They start research on the apartment history, and they find out about Liam McNally, a bank manager who killed his pregnant wife Karen and then committed suicide in room 203, the room in which they are currently living. They both then realize that those are the names written inside the music box. Eventually, their research becomes romantic and they end up sleeping together. Meanwhile, Izzy is having a seizure, and moments later, her left eye turns white and she smiles. That night, Kim wakes up to a noise in her room and is shocked to see a raven on the edge of her bed. She screams in fear, and Ian also wakes up. He looks around but doesn't find anything, so he calms her by saying that it's only a dream. The next day, when Kim isn't home, a delivery man arrives at the flat with 2 packs of paper that she had ordered. Izzy takes it on Kim's behalf and brings it to her room. There, she finds the pre-printed journal that Kim had written about her and gets disappointed. Meanwhile, Kim meets with Milton Briggs, the caretaker who first reported Karen's murder years ago. At first, Milton is hesitant to discuss this matter, but when Kim tells him that she now lives in the same flat, he eventually agrees. During their conversation, he reveals that McNally's baby survived, but doesn't have any idea what happened to him. After learning this information, Kim rushes back to the apartment, where a sad Izzy asks her about the journal. She accuses Izzy of betraying her.
I buried my mom. Where the fuck were you? Izzy, I'm sorry. No.
Kim tries to explain to her the creepy past of the apartment, but Izzy ignores her and storms out in anger. On the other hand, Ian goes to St. Mark's Cathedral to match the stained glass windows there with the photos he took in room 203. He quickly finds that one of his pictures is upside down and is actually of a demon. When he searches for connections between the images and Celtic pagan symbols, he finds out that the images match the Irish mythological figure Morrigu, who appears in the form of a raven and signifies death. Back at the apartment, Kim is upset about the argument and starts hammering the hole in the wall. Just then, a creepy-ass hand slips out that's covered in blood. This scares the shit out of her and she backs off. But then Ronan attacks her from behind and ties her up in his room. At this point, he reveals that he is the real son of Liam and Karen McNally, and that the necklace that Izzy is wearing actually belongs to his mother. He claims that Morrigu chooses who wears the necklace and then forces them to kill themselves and other people. Every victim has died much quicker, but Izzy has somehow managed to stop it. Ronan now wants to kill both of them and offer them as sacrifices because he fears that if he doesn't do it, Morrigu will come after him. Meanwhile, Ian knows the truth, leaves a voice message for Kim to be in a safe place and rushes to Kim's apartment to save her. When he gets there, he hears Kim scream from Ronan's apartment, but he ignores it and goes into Kim's apartment. There, he finds the same hand, and while he's busy watching the stained glass, Izzy shows up from behind, seemingly possessed by the demon. She tries to seduce him, but then reveals her demonic side and kills him. Meanwhile, Ronan pulls down Kim and starts reading a ritual from his father's diary. Just as he is about to kill her, she kicks him off and stabs the knife straight through his eye. Then she runs back to her room, where she finds Ian's dead body. She apologizes to him with a broken heart.
I'm sorry.
She gives him farewell and covers him with a blanket. While Ronan takes a gun and goes out to find Kim, Kim also goes out and sees Izzy going down to the basement. She dodges Ronan and rushes down the stairs. Kim hides behind a pillar while Ronan carefully searches for her.
You can't save her now.
However, he eventually catches her, but she throws sand in his eyes and runs away. She sees Ronan's father in the basement and Ronan finds her again. He pulls out his gun to shoot her, but as he does, he gets possessed by the demon and shoots himself. After that, Kim keeps looking for Izzy and finally finds her at the end of a long hallway. Izzy begs for her help.
Get me home. I love you, Izzy.
She transforms into her possessed self between the flickering lights and she starts laughing. Kim asks her to remove the necklace, but it's obvious that Izzy can't control Morrigu inside of her. She slowly gets closer to Kim. Just then, Izzy appears behind her and attacks her. Kim tries to fight back, but Izzy stabs her in the stomach. However, just as she is about to kill her, Kim takes the cursed necklace from her neck and Izzy comes back into her senses. The two friends then go to their apartment and see that hundreds of ravens are banging on the stained glass window. Kim musters up the courage and smashes the window, which throws them flying to the wall. After that, Izzy takes the injured Kim and calls the ambulance. They take her to the hospital, while we see Morrigu in the darkness outside the broken window, and the movie ends. Subscribe to watch more movie recaps like this. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Goodbye.